Hi everyone and welcome to the Coaching Observer. I'm Coach Xian, providing you observations from a coach's point of view for all rugby fans, enthusiasts, spectators and emerging coaches. I'm currently covering the Rugby World Cup and what a phenomenal quarterfinal weekend it was. If we're looking at the clashes, it was all on a knife's edge. 1 point, 4 points, it could have gone either way in most of the quarterfinal games, with Argentina having probably the most convincing quarterfinal game of all of them. Right, so Argentina coming on top of Wales, we have New Zealand taking on Ireland, we have South Africa beating the host nation of France, and lastly, unfortunately, Fiji falling out to England. Let's look at the different games that are coming up. That's what I'll be covering. In this game specifically, I'll be looking at that of Argentina against New Zealand. I'm taking a bit of a different stance this time. I will just be covering or, thinking about what they did previously on some of the strategies that worked for them. And I'm going to look at impactful players, right? So I'm changing that up. I'm looking at impactful players, who are players that need to be contained on either side. And then I'll be diving into my prediction and ending off. So yeah, let's get into it. Firstly, let's recap a bit on the strategy that we saw that New Zealand brought and that Argentina brought. What worked for them? So New Zealand, it was an extremely high-paced game from their backline against Ireland. And for me, they were extremely dominant at ruck time and just very physical. If we're thinking about what a nuisance Oddie Severe made of himself, like he was carrying extremely hard, being physical, and post-match interviews really showed that he had a bit in for them. I think that the disrespect that Ireland fans showed against the haka really fueled New Zealand, and you could see it from the players. Even Ricky Ioane coming out, like a lot of the players were fueled, and it really came out in their gameplay. What really worked for them, guys, was creating a bit of scoreboard pressure, taking the opportunities that presented themselves, early lead, easy penalty points, and making good decision making with their penalties. Another thing to me is, and I covered him, was Richie Mo'unga, really being able to just play what's in front of him and having the players who are able to just support him whenever he wants to do that. Will Jordan, I think, had a phenomenal game on wing. I think that the attacking options that New Zealand brought were really strong. So I think the other things that really worked for them as well was just phenomenal kicking within the game, taking the space, contestables. Very, very good on the New Zealand attack. Then on the other side, if we look into Argentinian attack, what really worked for them is, again, taking points at opportunity. And then also, I think I really enjoyed the way that they attacked on the wings, how they got the ball to the wings, which I did say was going to be a bit of a factor. And, they could finish. Extremely accurate in converting points when they really needed to. Physical ball carries with their forwards. And again, guys, the rucks to me were vital. I think what we're going to see in this game again is a huge battle at ruck time, trying to get turnovers at ruck, trying to slow down the ball, trying to get penalties. I think we saw something very similar with the African game. Rucks are going to be the be-all and end-all of the semi-finals for me. This is going to be quite a telltale. I think also looking at Argentina with regards to reading defensively and the pressure that they put on Wales really worked for them, even converted into an intercept try with a beautiful defensive read from Nicolas Sanchez. So these are really the things that I think are going to work for both teams, things that they'll stick at. And, I hope that we see a few trick plays coming from both the coaches. Now, let's look at some of the most impactful or critical positions of both New Zealand and Argentina. So firstly, on the New Zealand side, man of the match, guys, Ardie Savea has to be contained. I mean, the amount of meters he gains with running, the tackles that he makes, the turnovers he makes, just the energy he brings for his team. How can Argentina really pinpoint at Ardie and, try close that down? It's difficult though, because they have some phenomenal other forwards and they really do what they need to when it counts. If I look at Sam Whitelock with the last turnover, all that experience, a two-time World Cup winner coming into there, making a make or break turnover against Ireland to get them the game. Vast experience in the forwards as well. If I look at different players over here, I mean, Dan Coles and the hookers, top try scorers from all the mauls and all the set pieces that they need to do. So it's formidable up front there. In the back line, Richie Mo'unga. I love Richie Mo'unga. I spoke about him the last time as well, guys. The speed, the element that he brings, the X factor that he brings, his diverse style of attack that he brings. It's phenomenal. Pairing that with a 15 who also can just as well play a good 10, and creating these attack options, even if it's Bowden Barrett, or if it's Damien McKenzie. These attacking options that New Zealand have are very difficult to contain, and because they have such a wide range of options, they can go anywhere and just do what they want to do as well. I have to say the wings at the moment have been phenomenal. Will Jordan, it's almost gold, right? Every time he touches the ball, something positive happens and he's going to get a try. And he also needs to be contained. I feel that the Argentinian defense has got a lot on their hands. They have a lot of space to cover, and New Zealand is very good at exploiting even the smallest of gaps, especially like we saw the small trips and chases just behind a defensive line. So yeah, I think those are some of the key positions that really need to be contained on the side of New Zealand. If I look at Argentina, it's head carriers, right? It's guys like Labanini who needs to be contained with regards to the forwards and the way he carries. If I'm looking at how impactful and how much energy Montoya brings as a captain, as a carry, his line-out accuracy, he's also someone that they really need to look out for, and that they're going to need to be bargaining on the side of Argentina. In the back line, Buffelli, is their go-to guy for kicking. Whenever he touches the ball, just like Will Jordan, something comes alive, something sparks, and when he gets the ball on the edge, generally those tries come. I think that the youngster at 10, he's been playing extremely well and managing the game well, but there's a different vibrance and a different closing off of the game when Nicolas Sanchez comes on. And this was beautiful to me on the way Mike Shaker really player managed that. And I think Nicolas Sanchez is going to be a player that can completely turn the game on its head. He's got vast experience against New Zealand, and we saw what he did against Wales. So when he comes on, is he able to create that big impact? Can New Zealand just completely suffocate Nicolas Sanchez and his decision making when he comes on, so that Argentina don't have that second wind and really create good opportunities over there? Yes, I think that these are the key positions I'll stick with. They can have great impact on the game. How do the teams contain them with regards to defense, and what are they going to do to try limit them as much as possible? Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Right, let's dive into the predictions. Let's not joke around, guys. It's extremely difficult come semi-final times. Our top 4 teams, I do think there's a favourite. I do think there's an underdog. I think New Zealand will go into this being favourites. They've gained great momentum since their first loss against France. Argentina, did they expect to beat Wales? I think most of spectators and fans didn't think so. So it's a great momentum gainer for them, and it's going to drive passion. I think that it could go either way, but I think it's going to favour New Zealand quite comfortably, if I may say so. I think there's a lot of history between the two teams, and most of the time New Zealand come out on top. They aren't playing in Argentina where the crowd really gets behind them. However, I do think the French crowd will be egging on Argentina as the underdogs. New Zealand will take this one quite comfortably, I think, with a point margin of 15 to 20 points. It is semi-final, so the points will mostly come off of a penalty kicks, but I do definitely see a few tries coming through here. End score for me is about 36 to 12 in favour of New Zealand. Let's go New Zealand and let's see what the All Blacks can bring. Thanks so much for your support and watching my video. I took a bit of a different stance this time coming around because I just feel that I've covered as much strategy as I can on all these teams already. So if you want to go look at some strategies they may follow, please go look at my old videos. Thank you so much for your support. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I appreciate your support throughout this entire World Cup. It's going to be a nail biter on Friday night between these two teams, and obviously on Saturday between South Africa and England. So let's see how it goes and what happens and who's going to be our finalists, guys. I can't wait to watch. Please enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you again. Cheers.